Hey everyone, it's Harley. Happy St. Patrick's Day if you happen to be watching this on St. Patrick's Day. If not, happy whatever day of the week it is for you. Today I'm going to be going through the Leprechaun movies and giving you all a ranking of all 8 movies. Some may say this would be a chore to go through watching all the Leprechaun movies, and I say, you know what? It actually wasn't that bad. I'm not a hard guy to please most of the time, so I find more good than bad in this franchise. Now, given none of these movies are what we would consider to be actual good movies, a lot of them fall into the it's so bad it's good territory. So I had fun watching these. I really did. I had fun watching these. So let's see what Leprechaun movie comes at the bottom of the barrel, and that'd be number 8. Leprechaun in the Hood from the year 2000. It's not a terrible movie. It definitely has its moments. Warwick Davis, of course, just absolutely owns the role of the Leprechaun, and he was able to deliver some great lines in this movie. One of my favorite lines of the whole movie, of course, is it's iconic anyways, but a friend with weed is a friend indeed, but a friend with gold is the best, I'm told. I love that line so much. It's so iconic. It's probably about the most memorable thing out of that movie. You know, I wasn't big on the lead characters. Wasn't big into the whole positivity rap. That's a hard word to say. Concept. Although I do get why they did go that route. I guess it's easier in a movie like this to root for a protagonist rapping about positivity than it is bitches and money, so to speak. But my favorite character in the whole movie was Mac Daddy, played by Ice-T. Moment he pulled the baseball bat out of his afro, man, that was just fun. So there is good moments to the movie, but unfortunately, it's a movie that's made for its moments like that. It's just, I don't know. It's not a good movie. It has its standout moments, but it's just not a movie I'd be going back to rewatch a whole bunch. Number 7. Number 7's 2014's Leprechaun Origins, which is really just a Leprechaun movie in name alone. It's included in the Walmart box set, but it really does have zero to do with the other movies. First off, creature design, man, it's piss poor. It's like a reject cave monster out of something like The Descent. Of course, The Descent, being a much, much better movie. Some of the kills were decent, some of them were off-scene, but the ones that you do get to see, they are decent. I do like the characters more in this movie than I did for Leprechaun in the Hood, which is why this one actually did rank higher than the Leprechaun in the Hood movie. Its flaw, seriously, it comes down to the creature design. The creature design is just, like I said, it's piss poor. It does not feel, look, act, or anything. Basically, it's not a leprechaun. It's a cave monster. It's a creature. And I'm such a huge WWE fan. I've been a wrestling fan most of my life, actually. So when I saw that Hornswoggle was casted to play the Leprechaun, I was stoked. I was like, this could be really cool. Well, you would never even know that he played the Leprechaun. You can't tell it's him. I mean, even when they do show the Leprechaun, it almost looks like... It doesn't look like Hornswoggle. You could have casted anybody in the role. WWE Studios just put Hornswoggle in the role because they knew it would gain some interest. And, well, I mean, it worked. It gained my interest. I wanted to see Swoggle do what he can do as a Leprechaun in the movie, and he just didn't have anything to work with. It's just a waste. It's not a good movie. Number 6, we got Leprechaun Back to the Hood. Now, this one plays better for me than Leprechaun in the Hood because I just feel like they had more fun with this. Warwick Davis, he's at his comedic best in this one as he stumbles around the kitchen after getting higher than a kite, searching for food. That was a great scene right there. This one had its creative kills, most notably, that's a word, most notably the bong kill scene. The characters in this one, I'll bet, a little bit over the top. It's just, I guess it's the kind of characters this movie calls for. They're a little bit more relatable to me, I guess, than a positivity rap group from the first one. So I'd like the characters better in this one. Back to the Hood, it's not a scary movie or anything. It's just, kind of like Leprechaun in the Hood. It's more of a comedy. The humor just sticks to landing better, I think, in this one than it did in the Hood movie, the original Hood movie. So it's not bad. It's just nothing I would go back and rewatch a whole bunch. But as we get into number 5, this is where I like every movie that comes now on this list. I got a soft spot for this franchise. But number 5, it's going to be the OG Leprechaun from 1993. Maybe nostalgia plays a bit of it because I did watch this movie over and over when I was a kid. I was kind of a video store kid. So I watched a lot of horror movies. So it's the original Leprechaun. It's just classic to me. It also marks the acting debut of Jennifer Aniston, and to date her only horror movie she has ever been in. She's been in a bunch of horrible movies. Two on the nose. Yeah. Warwick Davis found his footing as the Leprechaun immediately in this one. I mean, he just, from the very first scene you see, Warwick Davis is the Leprechaun. He has humor. He's a lot more threatening in this one than he is in the sequels. He did a great job in this movie. You know, you got Mark Holton too. That's Francis from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and he's great in this movie. But for a long time, I guess I would have said that this was my favorite Leprechaun movie of the whole franchise. But after I just recently binged every single one of these movies last week. I ended up not liking this one as much as the others. Maybe it's just because I've seen it too many times and the other ones just felt a little bit more fresh to me, I guess. But, I still had a great time with this movie. Don't get me wrong. It's still a classic in my book. But as I went through some of the other movies that we're going to go through here shortly, I ended up having a lot more fun with the ones I haven't seen as much as this one. So if I ever do a franchise ranking of the Leprechaun again, it's going to be interesting to see where this movie will actually end up. So number 4 belongs to the sequel. That sequel is Leprechaun 2 from 1994. This time, old Lep, man, he wants himself a bride, and that bride is Bridget, played by Siobhan Durkin, I think is her name, who I actually found to be, a great final girl. I liked her a lot in this movie. I looked at her filmography. I didn't really see much of note in there. It kind of looks like she might have just disappeared. I did see that she was in Tammy and the T-Rex. I've heard of it. I've heard it's weird. I have actually seen that movie yet. So that's one of those, like, if you guys have seen Tammy and the T-Rex, go ahead and drop a comment below. Is it recommended? Does it suck? I mean, should I go check this out or what? But yeah, I guess, like I said, I think she just kind of disappeared from acting. Not sure quite what happened to her. Warwick, once again, man, he just owns the role as the Leprechaun. He's amped up the humor, the limericks in this one. I mean, he's on point. He's definitely on point on this one. The mythology a little bit, it's a little bit different with him now. I guess he's kind of like a leper genie because he can grant wishes now, and he's the clovers don't work with him. I guess in this one, it's more iron. So yeah, they kind of changed up the mythology of the Leprechaun, but hey, these movies are full of flaws. And if you really go in there and you're looking for them, you're going to find every single flaw that it has. The franchise as a whole, just sit down, grab a bag of popcorn, shut your brain off. Try not to think too hard when you're watching these movies. They're not trying to make award-winning cinema or anything like that. They're trying to make good movies, good slasher movies or fun movies, horror comedies, what have you. And yeah, if you shut your brain off, you'll have a good time. So, I mean, to me, who cares if they messed with the mythology a little bit, What other franchise hasn't done that? Come on now. So, anyways, number three, we got Leprechaun 3. Ironic on that. But, Leprechaun 3, 1995. This one ranks the highest out of the original trilogy. I think a lot of it has to do because of the Vegas setting. And that scene with the Leprechaun and Elvis, that's like one of the most iconic scenes to me in the whole franchise. Leprechaun doing the dance at the end. And yeah, that's a great scene. The drawback on 3, which almost, I think, if I went to re-rank this franchise again, probably make it lower. But the drawback on this one would be its lead character, Scott McCoy, the leprechaun half werewolf hybrid, whatever he ends up becoming, played by John Gattens. The character is just irritating as hell in the movie. Really, he drags it down at points. I don't know if it was just not a great performance. I don't know. He was a drawback to the film. But on the other side of the coin, or shilling, you have Lee Armstrong. She played Tammy, and I thought she did great. I mean, she's a good final girl. In fact, actually, if you look at Leprechaun 2 and Leprechaun 3, I think both final girls are really good. Less said about Jennifer Aniston, the better. But yeah, Lee Armstrong, she did great. But it looks like this might have been her last role. I didn't see anything. I think she followed that bird in Sesame Street, but she looks like she left the business after this one came out, and that sucks because I actually thought she had some talent. She could have probably have at least been a good actress for horror movies or something. But movie, once again, just like all the other movies, they rely on Warwick Davis. He is the backbone of the whole franchise. If he fails, the movie fails. And he brings the goods as the Leprechaun once again. So where the films, if you look at them as a whole, maybe they're not great films. Like I said, they're popcorn horror comedies. It's just a blast to sit back, watch Warwick do his thing. The Vegas setting was great for that because he just fit right into the mold. So yeah, Leprechaun 3 out of the original trilogy, definitely. That was definitely one of my favorites out of it. So we're going to go off to the silver medal of the franchise. This one belonging to Leprechaun 4. We're in space now. And this movie is just nuts. It knows it's nuts. It plays to it. I love it. I probably love it more than I should. This truly fits into the it's so bad, it's good territory for me. It's a film that knows it's ridiculous, like I said. It knows it's nuts. It plays to it. They've got homages to like movies like Alien. They've got homages to movies like Drop Dead Fred with the pancake face scene. Leprechaun, he's just a blast in this one. His humor is over the top, just like the rest of the movie. It's all over the top. They've got even the Spider-Man in this movie. It's just, this is a movie that you need to watch if you haven't watched it, just for the experience of how freaking crazy it is. I had so much fun watching Leprechaun 4 in space. That's why it is solidly number 2 for me. It's in that Bride of Chucky realm. Not as good as Bride of Chucky, of course, but for horror comedies, which I love horror comedies, this ranks up there because I laughed throughout the whole movie, and that was what the point of this was to make you laugh. And yeah, Leprechaun 4 in space did its job. But let's see, who gets the gold medal for the Leprechaun franchise for me? And I say that is actually Leprechaun Returns, the 8th entry of the Leprechaun franchise. Very strange for the 8th movie of a franchise to actually come in at number 1, to actually become what I think to be the best one out of the whole franchise. And it's weird because it's also the Leprechaun movie that doesn't have Warwick Davis, or Hornswoggle. I only saw the movie once. I saw it back when it came out in 2018. So when I rewatched it last week, I literally remembered absolutely nothing about the movie. I had no memories of it at all. So I was surprised, actually, when I watched it. I really walked into it thinking it wasn't going to be that great because I didn't remember it. And I found it to be the most thrilling and most gory movie of the whole franchise. And you think that the Warwick Davis in this title role, not being in this title role anymore, would make the film suffer. But I'll tell you, this Lyndon Porco guy that took over the Leprechaun role, he's now shown up in movies like Cult of Chucky and Nightmare Alley and stuff like that. I thought he did a fantastic job in this. I was concerned that he was going to be put into kind of like a position to fail, kind of like Jackie Earle Haley, who tried to take over the Freddy role from Robert Englund and didn't do a great... he didn't do a bad job with Freddy. I'm not saying he did a bad job with Freddy. It's just the role of Freddy Krueger's always been synonymous with Robert Englund, just like Leprechaun, I feel, is kind of like Warwick Davis's role. But Lyndon Porco came in. He did a great job with it. He took the ball. He ran with it. He had the humor. He had the menacing about him. He took the ball. He ran with it. I really would like to see more Leprechaun movies with him in it. And I don't know if we're getting any on the horizon or not. Now, the kills in this one, they're fabulous. They're gory. They're over the top. The guy getting split in half vertically and that sprinkler head scene, kind of like almost like a homage to My Bloody Valentine. I thought that was great. And then you got the director of this, Steven Kostanski, I think is how you say his last name. I need to check out more of his movies. I absolutely loved Psycho Goreman. That's probably my favorite horror movie out of 2020. Like I said, I love horror comedies. And I like over-the-top gore, like just funny stuff like that. I realized I haven't seen much else of his work. I've heard of The Void. I've never seen it. I've never really even seen any of the VHS movies or the ABCs of Death, which I believe he does a couple shorts in those. Got Manborg and BioCop. I've never even heard of those movies, but the covers look interesting. So I think it's time for me to actually kind of go into Steven Kostanski's filmography, kind of take a dive in there and see what else this guy has in store for me. Because really, if I look at it, dude's 2 for 2 for me so far. I think he has made 2 great movies so far that I have seen. That's Leprechaun Returns and Psycho Goreman. If you guys haven't seen Psycho Goreman yet, definitely go check that out. That is worth your time. But yeah, there you have it. That's the ranking of the Leprechaun franchise for me. I had a great time with this. It was a blast going through some of these movies. Some of the ones at the bottom of the list, even like Leprechaun in the Hood, they had their moments. Weren't great movies, but it still had its moments. Leprechaun Origins had a few moments, not many. But yeah, once I got to like Back to the Hood and movies beyond that, I thought that the franchise really took off for me. If you stumbled across this video in my channel, you'll notice I am brand new to YouTube. You can probably tell just by the quality of this video. My workspace for YouTube, it's still kind of under construction, as you can tell. My background's got, Pac-Man and a couch. Don't have a bunch of movie posters or Funkos yet, so I know this doesn't look as professional as some of the others out there. I'm still new at this. I'm still working on videos. I'm still learning how to edit, all that stuff. This is all a big learning experience for me, so as we go further, I'm hoping that the quality of these will obviously improve. I'm going to put my work in. Of course, if you guys have any suggestions, I would love to hear them. So yeah, I plan on this one, Hardly Funk Horror here, being a very active channel. So I hope you do subscribe to keep up with all the content that I'm putting out there. Like I said, very active. So I want you guys to be a part of this ride with me. But yeah, make sure to put a comment below. I'd love to see your comments with your own rankings of the Leprechaun franchise. And if you have any requests of movies or franchises, anything you want me to rank or review, or I know there's a lot of you YouTubers out here that really know what you're doing while I'm still kind of learning. If you got tips, tricks, suggestions, knowledge you want to drop my way, you guys, best way to get a hold of me is probably through my email address. That's harleyfunkmovies@gmail.com. We'll go ahead and put it in the description and everything. But that'll be the easiest way to reach me. Of course, I'll be looking at the comments too, and I want to create a nice little horror community on this channel here. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking this video out. I hope you check out some more. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up with everything. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks.